Good Monday morning to you. I was sitting here thinking it's crazy to it is really crazy this thought. I started doing this 4 weeks ago. Then I took a break because I was going to be gone uh for my anniversary. And then I took another break because I had to a couple days off because I had to be gone because I didn't plan this out when to start this, obviously. But this week, starting today, is 4 weeks of doing the show and not doing it consistently, and that's on me. But it is incredibly crazy to think of something that God uh, had really called me to do for a year and a half, and I avoided it at all costs. And well, here's my recommendation for you: if you're watching, it's your first time. Uh, don't put off what God wants you to do. Just don't. Don't do that. I did, and I think of how many cool people I would have met if I had been doing it. How many neat things we could have talked about, and that bugs me now. That's like I just sit here and go, "Wow, I goofed." And so don't do that. Don't put off whatever God is doing in your life and wants you to do. So clear, and that I think kind of ties into what I want to open up with today. And I don't know if you watched or if you were there. I don't know either way. The Charlie Kirk Memorial, incredible service as a pastor's kid. And here's my thing for you: check out the website later today at abundanttv.com. I have my thoughts. I actually put them together and wrote something. It'll be up later this afternoon. It is my thoughts about the Charlie Kirk Memorial. And if you don't feel like there's been an atmospheric change in our country, then you really haven't been paying attention. I'm sorry. That may sound kind of cruel, but it's the way I feel, especially after yesterday. Erica Kirk. I mean, good night. I mean, we are in a time, and I think that we have lived over the last few years just hating each other. And Erica Kirk gets up there and says that she forgives the man that took her husband's life. And I think that was a key, honestly, of everything said. And there was amazing opportunities of sharing the gospel over that time. But what Erica said is something that I don't care who you are, it struck such a chord. We have to forgive and move on. If you're going to live your life to the fullest of what you believe God has for you, you have to forgive those. I know it's not going to be easy, and it may not be something that happens instantly. Trust me, been there. It may not happen the first day, but if you take a mindset change and really say, hey, listen, I forgive this person. And even though that there are going to be times when things creep in, and I'm sure for everybody, those moments creep in where you're like, again, we have to forgive, move forward. Great Christian music yesterday. And I think the thing that I was the most excited about was all of these people in our government sharing the gospel. It was super impactful to me. Um, and probably, though the numbers aren't completely in, so I'm not officially saying this because I don't want to get in any trouble. But from what everything that we are finding out right now, this is the largest watched online event in history of that. Now, I'm not saying something isn't going to eclipse it. It will, because online technology, much like what you and I are doing right here, sharing, having fun, doing the morning break together, is fairly new. It is fairly new. But as of right now, the numbers, they're tabulating and finishing the numbers, but it says it was the largest audience ever for online. Besides that, if you know, many television stations carried it, and it was across many platforms. I find it to be amazing. The impact of Charlie Kirk on so many lives is incredible. We talked about it last Wednesday here on the show and talked about his life and what he accomplished. And it's really incredible. Super blessed and just everything. And I talked a little bit about my early experience with Turning Point USA and with Charlie Kirk's organization last Wednesday. You can rewatch that episode if you want, but it was fantastic and so fitting. To what a way to honor a man who did so much to change lives uh, here in the United States, but not only here, but around the world. And he went to a generation that a lot of people have forgotten, and that's the college age. They didn't want to reach them. They felt they were going to be too hard to reach. And Charlie Kirk dove in with both feet. And we appreciate his wife, Erica, and all of the people that are carrying on that tradition. And we're excited to see, even though we're sad that Charlie's gone, we're excited to see where Turning Point USA is going to go. Got my coffee. You got to have a coffee on a Monday morning. We use coffee from the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee. Now, here's the thing I do. I get the whole bean. Everybody's different. I get that. I get the whole bean roast though, because I love. Okay, so I'm actually probably, and my mom used to say this. All men are kind of little boys. I like grinding the coffee because I like making that noise. Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. So I get the whole bean. You can get ground coffee. You can get K cups. They have it all. Some of the best coffee I've ever had in the world. It's 7 Weeks Coffee, 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you go in and purchase. Here's my other recommendation, and I talked about this a little last week, is when you order, don't do like I do. Now, hey, maybe you do. Maybe you're going to go right off the bat and say, hey, listen, Rob, I like dark roast too. And you might, and that's okay. But here's my advice to you. I learned something. I didn't do it. My wife ordered the coffee and she ordered the variety pack, the 4-pack. It's awesome. It's 4 different coffees. These are all small roast coffees and they're fantastic. And my wife bought me a variety pack. Now, as I've gotten older, and my birthday's this week, we've talked about that already. As I've gotten older, I've come to the conclusion that I like a darker roast coffee. So that's what's in my cup is some dark roast coffee. I add a little creamer. So it's really not just full on dark roast coffee, but I do add some creamer. But I recommend getting the variety 4-pack. And of course, if you're like me and like to hear the noise of your coffee grinder in the morning, then get the whole bean. But you can get you can get the ground coffee or K cups. In fact, we appreciate them so much. 7 Weeks Coffee. Remember, use the promo code ATV10 when you check out. When we return, my favorite Mondays are Mondays with Molly, and we'll do that after this.
Behind every precious life, there was a choice. Behind every family moment, behind every special memory, there was a choice. A life of joy. A life that is beautifully and wonderfully made. At 7 Weeks Coffee, we are funding the pro-life movement, 1 cup at a time. Will you let your coffee serve a greater purpose?
Remember the great folks at 7 Weeks Coffee, 7weekscoffee.com. Use the promo code ATV10 when you check out, and it helps us to let them know that we appreciate them. And my favorite, I tell you, this is it. This is not a lie. This is the very truth. It's Mondays with Molly. I like it for a couple of reasons. One, I get to say Mondays with Molly, and that's just fun. And so I got to ask you this question because I just talked about it before the break. I like making my coffee and making loud noises. I believe that is a man thing. Does your husband have any tools or anything that he likes to use just because they make really loud noises?
That is a great question. You know what? I mean, I bet if I would ask subconsciously, yes, right? But does he really know it, right? Because it's like just that there's something about a noise, which I love the smell of fresh ground coffee. So you're getting it fresh. So I love the smell. The noise I can do without. It's like, can you hurry that up so we can just get to the good part?
It's one of those things where I don't know. My wife did it for me. I had not done the ground coffee all that much. And then she goes, "You need to get a," because I'd had a couple of, when you're younger, you get these coffee grinders and they're like cheap, like, you could actually smash the beans better with your hand than you could with the, and she got me like a really good one, like high end. And I have so much fun with it. It's like, and so I'll like do it in the morning. And so I just do, and this is on purpose. I do just enough for that day so that I can then in the next morning, it kind of makes me feel like I'm accomplishing. It's like starting off the day. Like if you've heard that Admiral and he talks about straightening your bed the first thing in the morning, mine is I get to grind that coffee and make that first cup of the day. And from there, it's incredible. Hey, Molly, before we get into the Molly's Monday motivations, which I don't know if she actually has done, because I just reminded her, of course she did, of course. But did you know it's National White Chocolate Day?
I did not know that. National White Chocolate Day, first day of autumn. I mean, you might as well pair those two together. Gosh, there's just a lot happening today.
I do, and see, I'm not a huge white chocolate person. I don't know. Maybe for other people they love it. I'm just not. I mean, if I want chocolate, I want like real chocolate. I want chocolate
Dark
chocolate.
chocolate, something that's
Yes.
like good taste, maybe a little sea salt in there. Yeah, white chocolate, it's like I can take like one little half of a square and then I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
It just has such a different taste. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's it. Now there are certain things that are it's okay with, like it's paired with macadamia nuts. Like,
Yes.
yeah,
Ooh, yes. Yes.
yeah.
Macadamia
That's
nut chocolate.
but I don't get those that often because my wife doesn't make them that often. So I mean, I sound like I actually eat that all the time, but I really don't. But hey, listen, I want to ask you a question because you are an entrepreneur. You are a lady that does a lot of different things. And we're going to start off with Mondays that are what motivates you on this Monday, because we're going to call these Molly's Monday motivation, which is totally my old radio days where we love things that have all those letters like that
Yes.
makes us feel like we're being snappy in our day.
The alliteration, I love anything that alliterates, and people do too. Like it's something they can remember, something that's catchy, it's punchy. So your question is what motivates me on like any type of a Monday, like to get the week
Yes.
started off.
What is motivating you?
You know, it's funny because you talked about it a little bit earlier, and specifically today, probably the biggest motivator that is motivating me, and I know it's motivating other people, was listening to Erica Kirk's speech and the forgiveness that she gave on that global stage. And quite literally, I have seen comments of other people have posted, I forgive him everywhere. I have seen comments of, and I even just found one and I'm going to pull it up. I literally found it come across my Facebook. This gentleman says, God, help me forgive the drunk driver that crashed through my bedroom, killed my wife, and injured me. And so, because of her just willingness, even in her grieving, to forgive, just like Christ forgave us, watching that ripple effect, which I knew the minute she said that, I was like, whew, I feel like forgiveness is going to like just like come like a tidal wave over people. That really is motivating me of taking a deeper look of, Lord, have I stuffed things down that I need to, forgive? Because forgiveness is like a cancer. And then it impacts all these different areas of your life, whether you believe it or not. And as an entrepreneur, I mean, I need things flowing. I think all of us need things flowing. So that has really motivated me of the bravery, the boldness, and the humility of like, okay, I'm going to forgive this person, even though one of the worst tragedies struck her and her family.
And I think for her too, it's was so public, her situation, and for her to come out and say, I forgive this person. And I loved that whole part. And like you said, it was immediate, like you went, That's big. And
Huge.
what you saw on social media, I have seen, and especially this morning, I opened up my social media and I was going through different places, and people were saying, "Hey, listen, after yesterday, I have decided I'm going to forgive this person." So
Yes.
though Turning Point's mission is not that was not in their mission, I think how incredible what Turning Point has done with this,
Yes.
and it's so huge. I think for us as a country, there is a lot of need for forgiveness in a lot of areas. And it, like you said, it's healing. Unforgiveness creates like a boil on you, and it's there, or like an irritation on your skin. Have you ever had this? And this is something I dealt with a few weeks ago because I was golfing. I wasn't golfing. I was watching golf, and I have a occasion where like these little bugs that we have here in Ohio that you walk through the grass, and I don't even know what they're called. Anyway, these little things were all over. I looked like I had polka dotted ankle
Oh
area of my
no.
leg, and they itched, but they didn't bother me until, you know what? I put on socks or I put on my pants. Unforgiveness is kind of like that. You may not think
Yeah.
about it all the time, but all of a sudden something happens where you have that moment. And I encourage you, like Molly says, it 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 inhibits your thought process. It really does. And you may not even know it. You may go like, whatever, Rob. But really think about it. It does.
It does. Like it comes in there and I again, it's like a cancer. We know how serious cancer can be. And so you have to get yourself to a place where even if you forgiving is more for you than it really is even the other person, because guess what? Do you think the person that Erica Kirk forgave cares? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So it was for her. It was for honestly what God wanted to do through her. So when you forgive other people and then you take that time being like, what if I like just push down, like whether it's like, it doesn't even matter, like we just move on, whatever. Like that stuff festers, like you said. And then it's like, and then it just gets really irritated and then it expands and it grows. So that is something that has motivated me just to take a deeper look because as an entrepreneur, I can hurry up and hustle on to the next thing. But what am I building on? Am I building on fractured pieces? Or am I building on something that is strong? And so I'm always looking like, what can I refine? What can I reveal? Or what can the Lord reveal and heal? And that is a big part that motivates me so I can serve my biggest capacity. But again, watching her yesterday was just incredible. And just feeling that movement is like, we're just now seeing the ripple effects of it. And it's just incredible.
And I think with entrepreneurs, and you can correct me because I'm always good with this, but a lot of entrepreneurs, I can't even say the word this morning. It must be Monday. Entrepreneurs, let's try it again. There we go, Rob. Is a lot of their time is spent alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you've got unforgiveness and that's playing as a movie, I talk a lot about this because I deal a lot in fear. I'm a worrier and I have fear like I by the truckloads every day. And same thing with unforgiveness. It can play like a movie in the back of your head while you're trying to do work. And I don't know. What do you think? Am I wrong? Because I think a lot of entrepreneurs do spend time alone. And
Yes,
and
and alone is it can be a good and also dangerous place. It depends on what you're doing when you're by yourself, right? So if you're sitting there and worry and panic and worrying about all these things that are outside of your control, then it's like this like train wreck that's inevitable about ready to happen. Or being able to be alone and being in solitude and just allowing to just, give those cares to the Lord and what is in my control? What can I focus on? That's taken me many years to really like reprogram my brain to not worry. And even then I'm like, hey, quit worrying about that. Like you're not gonna that literally is not gonna go anywhere but into this like explosion of a train. So it is a good thing, but it can be to your demise. So you have to ask yourself, because some people like being alone. I know people where it's like, yeah, you really can't be alone for too long because you are going to go downhill very quickly. You need to be around others because you have to build up that mental fortitude. So you have to assess yourself and just be honest. Like you said, like you're being honest and vulnerable with us, Rob. You're like, this has always been a part of me. And so, being able to understand like, okay, like what is that going to do in the end of me worrying about this thing? Or what is in my control for the next step? And then giving the rest, to God so he can take care of it like he always does.
So as our motivation person, what is one thing you would tell people to do this week that if they're an entrepreneur, even if you're not, and I always hate this because those of us that are, we talk in that phrase, but you could even be working for somebody and still, but what's one thing, tell everybody one thing to tackle this week to help have a awesome week.
I'm going to give you a two-pronged answer. So one, what is something that you've been putting off that you've needed to accomplish, whether it's this week, this month, the last year, the last couple years? What is the thing that when you're like, oh, I've been putting that off? Go do it this week by Friday, 5:00. You make it happen. Second thing is, what is a habit that you are going to change? So whether it's I worry this or I do this, and it's a habit that isn't serving you. And we all have them, right? Whether we wake up, rush out the door, and we're stressed going into work or going into our job, wake up a little bit earlier, or, instead of drinking a pot of coffee to start your day, have some water, then go into your coffee, figure out a better habit that's going to serve you. So do the thing that you've been putting off, find a better habit that's going to serve you. So get rid of one, get rid of the thing that's not serving you and replace it with something that will serve you, and watch your life change.
How long do you think, because there are different studies about this, how long do you think it takes to change a habit?
Truly change and get it ingrained in your brain is 90 days for most people.
Is it really? Yeah.
Yes.
I believe that my wife and I have been doing this Bible study. We created it. It's nobody else's. And we started today is day 61. And it's still it's become a neat habit, but I don't think it's ingrained yet. So I agree with you. I think it takes that long, but I love what you said. I think that as entrepreneurs, we go, well, I don't want to do, especially it's always the hard things that we don't, or that we mentally. Okay. So I'll tell you a story, Molly. There was this thing that mentally I had built up to being way harder than what it was. I was like, oh, this is going to take forever. I don't want to do this. And literally it took 5 minutes, and I put it off for 6 months. I literally made every excuse possible. And the project took 5 minutes, and I went, why did you do that?
I mean, it's because you literally just said it. We build it up in our mind to be this big, grandiose thing. And by the way, that happens most of the time. So if you're building this up to be this big thing, not forgiving somebody, not doing that thing. I've had so many people come to me being like, God's put this dream, this vision, this thing on my heart, and it's been years it's been on there. And I'm just now understanding the urgency. Go do the thing. Go do the thing and watch things fall into place when you go do that thing.
Yep, that's awesome. Hey, it is Mondays with Molly, one of my favorite days of the week. She's with us only every other Monday, so it'll be October before we see Molly again, which is sad, but she'll be back. We'll talk more. Molly, thank you so much for being with us. When we come back, my final thoughts after this.
Social media today is noisy, divided, and too often hostile to Christian values, a place where truth is twisted and faith is often silenced. What if there was a place for believers where you could share your story, grow in your faith, and be encouraged every day? Introducing Acts Social, the #1 Christ-centered social platform built to unite Christians worldwide in truth, hope, and love. Share your faith openly. Discover powerful, uplifting content. Join prayer groups. Encourage others. Find news and events from a biblical worldview all in one place. And do it all free from big tech censorship, invasive tracking, and endless ads. Because the body of Christ was never meant to be scattered. It was meant to be together, every day, everywhere. ActsSocial.com, the fastest growing platform for Christ-centered connection. Join us and be part of something eternal.
Hey, we haven't talked about them today, Acts Social. We are so proud to be one of their corporate sponsors. Go to actssocial.com. That's ACTS social.com. You'll see our advertising on there. We're very proud of that, but that's not the reason why we did it. We believe in social media with a great message. Do you feel that right now with all the noise going on in the world that you needed a place that you can feel like you're a part? Head over to axsocial.com. That's axsocial.com and use the promo code ATV if they're still doing that. I believe they stopped that. I don't believe you need to have a sign up any longer. It was invitation only for the first couple months, but I believe you can now get away with just going there and signing up yourself. We talked about fall. Is it cool where you are? Check out the weather forecast, by the way. Scrolling across the bottom. It definitely does not feel like fall in Dallas. It's 93. We should have asked Molly what it was like in Nevada. Now, if you're in New York City, hey, it's feeling a little bit. It was according to the weather that we got this morning, it was crisp. It's going to be 75 today in New York City. So it's fall season. Like I said, I love fall. It's a great time. And maybe this is a great time. And I wanted to talk about this. And Molly and I talked about it. I talked about it in my open is forgiveness. Is this a great season? It's a new season. It's a new season for the calendar, but also can be a great new season for you. Maybe there is someone out there that you haven't forgiven. This is the time. Take the time right now and forgive them. It doesn't cost you anything. And mean it, though. I have to tell you, you and I, I'm sure, have forgiven people in the past and then dug it right back up. Don't do that. Take this time. And I think that we as a country, this is the turning point of forgiveness. Give people grace. The other thing I would say is it's time to give people grace about things that they do. It's the way I feel. Hey, listen, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much, by the way. Last week was our biggest week in the 4 weeks, and it's continuing to grow. It's humbling that people actually tune in and watch. I've gotten several emails and text messages telling me that they watch, and I appreciate that. I think that we live in a time right now where we are seeing forgiveness. And when forgiveness comes, restoration also comes. Peace also comes. And I believe more than ever before in the country that we live in, peace is necessary. I think yesterday was a good first step. Now, what you do to help that, well, it's up to you. Hey, listen, I'd love for you to comment on this video, share it with a friend. You can find it on your favorite social media platforms, including LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter, X now. Still call it Twitter. Can't help myself. Anyway, man, it has been a fantastic Monday. It is the first day of fall. It is the first day of a week that I encourage you to get out there and do something incredible with. It is, to me, the most exciting time. Every Monday is a challenge. It is a way to grow. It is a way to move forward, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. It's just a start. Dr. Trudy's going to be with us tomorrow. We're going to continue on in this forgiveness thread of the show. We'll talk to Dr. Trudy about forgiveness, how to deal with it. We'll do that tomorrow. Man, it's going to be a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, go out there and make change, because now you've had your morning break.